Early in the morning, when the world was still quiet, a small orange cat sat on the top of a green hill. The sky was a pale blue, and thin white clouds drifted slowly across it. The grass around the cat moved softly, as if it was whispering secrets to the earth. A gentle and warm wind passed by, touching the cat's fur. The cat opened its eyes and smiled. "Where are you going?" the cat asked the wind. The wind moved in a slow circle, like a graceful dancer. It answered softly, its voice like the rustling of leaves. "I travel everywhere. I visit places that need care." The cat felt a spark of curiosity. The idea of traveling everywhere and visiting new places sounded like a wonderful adventure. "Can I come with you?" the cat asked, its voice full of hope. The wind did not stop, but it moved forward kindly, inviting the cat to follow. So the cat stood up, stretched its little legs, and followed. They walked down the hill together, leaving the quiet hilltop behind them. The path was narrow and dusty, a little ribbon of brown against the green. Small yellow flowers grew beside it, bright like tiny suns. The cat walked carefully, placing each paw with precision, not wanting to disturb the sleeping butterflies or crush the beautiful flowers. Soon they reached a peaceful village nestled in the valley. The houses were small and old, made of wood and stone, each with its own story to tell. Wooden doors creaked softly as people started to wake up. Wind chimes hanging from porches made gentle music as the wind passed through them. It was a lovely, soothing sound. People opened their windows slowly, letting the fresh morning air fill their homes. The cat saw someone stretch and smile, ready to start their day. It saw someone else pouring hot tea into a cup, the steam rising like a little cloud. High above, birds flew gracefully across the sky, their wings painting elegant arcs against the pale blue canvas. Everything felt so right, so peaceful. "This place feels safe," the cat said, speaking to the wind. "Yes," replied the wind, its voice warm and comforting. "Peace needs kindness to stay alive." They moved through the village streets together, the cat and the wind, silent observers of the morning routines. An old grandmother with a kind face and gentle hands was watering her plants. A young boy sat on his doorstep, carefully tying his shoes, his brow furrowed in concentration. Then, suddenly, everything became still. The wind stopped. The leaves on the trees froze in the air. The gentle music of the wind chimes became silent. The cat looked up, its whiskers twitching, sensing the change. A small paper kite, which had been dancing in the sky just a moment before, fell gently to the ground. Nearby, a child stood quietly, holding an empty string. The child's face looked sad and disappointed. Their shoulders were slumped, and their bright morning had turned grey. "My kite," the child whispered, their voice barely audible. The cat walked closer, its heart feeling a little pinch of sadness for the child. The kite was blue and white, with a small golden star painted in the middle. It lay on the ground, looking lonely and forgotten. The cat picked it up gently with its mouth, being careful not to tear the fragile paper, and carried it toward the child. The child looked surprised to see a small cat bringing back their lost kite. The cat pushed the kite back into the open space where it could fly and then waited, but the wind was gone. There was no breeze to lift it. The cat sat down and looked at the sky, then at the sad child, then back at the kite. It knew what it had to do. The cat made a soft sounder, small, hopeful meow. It was a call, a plea, a little bit of magic sent out into the still air. Slowly, almost magically, the wind returned. The leaves on the trees began to dance again. The wind chimes started to sing their gentle song once more, and the kite, caught by the breeze, lifted into the air. It rose higher and higher, becoming a bright speck of color against the blue sky. The child laughed, a sound of pure joy that echoed through the quiet street. "Thank you," the child said happily, their face lit up with a brilliant smile. The cat closed its eyes, feeling warm and proud inside. Kindness felt like sunshine. The wind whispered gently in its ear, "Small kindness makes big happiness." The sun climbed higher in the sky. The morning felt complete, perfect in its own simple way. The cat walked back up the hill, slowly and peacefully, its heart full. At the top, it sat quietly again, watching the village wake up below. The wind continued its journey, carrying the lesson of kindness to another place, another heart. That was a beautiful story, wasn't it? It shows how even the smallest act of kindness can make a big difference. Now, let's learn some of the new words from our story today. This is a great way to build your vocabulary, especially if you're learning English. First, we have the word quiet. Quiet means without noise or with very little sound. The story started in the morning when the world was still quiet. Next is drifted. Drifted means moved slowly through the air or water. The thin white clouds drifted slowly across the sky. Then there's whispering. Whispering is speaking very softly, using your breath instead of your voice. The grass was whispering secrets. Our next word is curious. If you are curious, you are eager and wanting to know or learn more about something. The cat felt curious about where the wind was going. We also heard the word dusty. Dusty means covered with a layer of fine, dry dirt. The path down the hill was narrow and dusty. Then we have peaceful. Peaceful means calm and safe, free from disturbance. The cat thought the village felt very peaceful. Another wonderful word is gentle. Gentle means soft and kind, not rough or violent. The wind was gentle, and the grandmother had gentle hands. What about gracefully? Gracefully means moving in a smooth, beautiful, and elegant way. The birds flew gracefully across the sky. Here's a word for a feeling we all have sometimes: disappointed. Disappointed is feeling sad when something you hoped for doesn't happen. The child was disappointed when the kite fell. The child laughed with joy when the kite flew again. Finally, we have the word complete. Complete means finished and whole, with nothing missing. The morning felt complete after the act of kindness. Learning new words through stories is such a fun and effective way to expand your English skills. I hope you enjoyed our little adventure with the cat and the wind today. Remember the message of the story: small kindness can create big happiness. Thank you so much for watching and listening. See you next time.